Hello, everyone. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 3 of Dream House. We are live both on our YouTube page where we're live streaming our screen and on YouTube, and on Instagram we're live streaming from my phone. So it's definitely better quality if you're on YouTube. You get to see the mirror of my screen, and I know it can be a little bit tricky to sometimes see on Instagram. So today is episode 3. We're going to be doing doors and windows. I just loaded in all the families that I like to use from a manufacturer called Anderson. And I'm not sure if they're just a United States manufacturer for windows and doors, but they have a lot of good Revit families. So I naturally just have their families that are free downloaded and saved to my computer because I use them all the time. And they're just really good BIM models. So we're going to be using those, and we're going to be designing the exterior. We have a good first floor plan, and we have a good second floor plan that we designed together on the last 2 episodes. If you want to go back and watch those, that was fun. The first episode was the first floor, and the second episode was the second floor. So that worked out cool. And now we're going to do window and door design today, and I love doing that. It really brings the house to life. So I'm going to pop up my Instagram on my phone into the stand, and we're going to get started. As we do every week. Woo! Sorry. I just flung my phone trying to put it in the stand. That was probably loud. Ooh, I don't normally struggle that much. Sorry, guys. It was probably rough getting in the stand there. All right. Just perfecting my Instagram angle right now. So I think that looks good. Alrighty. So welcome. This is my Dream House live series that I do every week, and I am having so much fun designing my dream house. Last week, I even learned how to do this roof from a viewer, all-in-one roof footprint. I was doing all 3 of these as separate and then joining them with the roof tool, so you guys were able to learn actually how to do it that way and then how to do it this way as well. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm going to edit the roof right away and go back into the footprint because I know I want a 1-foot overhang. Last time we went for so long, it was like over an hour. It was a really long stream, so I just wanted to get the roof on our bass. And this time I'm doing these finishing details, which is the overhang of a foot. So I just did the offset command, which is OF, and that allows us to offset to whatever distance we want and then connect everything. So I'm going to hit check, and now we can see that we actually have overhangs and it's more realistic. So this wall, please excuse me. Also, if you're on YouTube and I'm not looking directly at you, it's because my screen is over there, my Revit, because that's what I'm like, have the phone focused on. It's a whole setup, it's a whole vibe, but I'm going to click on this wall, I'm going to attach it, and it's automatically going to clean that up for me. So I'm just going to go through and really attach all these walls to this roof now that my roof is pretty good to stay. I attached the front ones when I first did it just because it was easiest, but now I'm going through and attaching them all. And what that's doing is just attaching the underside of the wall to the roof exactly where it's cutting. So if I were to hide the roof, you could see that this wall is connected to the roof and it's slanted, cut right where how it associates with the roof. This wall is a good example of it not being connected because it's not attached at the top and it's not following the angle of the roof. So that's just a good little example. I'm going to attach that and then attach that And I think after I attach this front wall, all of our walls will be attached to our roof. So that looks pretty good. I am now going to delete this front door because I just don't like it. And I'm going to look at some of the doors I loaded in from Anderson, that company that I was talking about in the beginning of the live stream. So we have a single door. We have a double door. I'm going to do the double door. The wood is always on the inside, so if I hit the space bar, it'll actually, if I hit the space bar twice to be correct, it'll flip the door for me. And look how beautiful this model is. Like, it has the threshold, it has these details, so if I switch my view to fine, it will actually show these as actual mullions in the window. So my detail level down here is a small bottom. We have coarse, medium, and fine, and it was set to medium before, so it's like not a 3D line. But if I just change that to fine, it gives it a 3D property. So that's a little bit about view details. I actually didn't figure out that these doors even had these different view levels, like, of detail, until I was just like, realized one day the main view I was working in wasn't set to fine, and you want it to be showing as much detail as you have available to you. So you definitely do want to have your views set to fine. And I changed the 3D view, and I was like, what? These are 3D elements? Like, I was having issues, like, exporting the medium view with these not 3D elements, like this, into Lumion, and they weren't showing up as 3D elements, and I was like, oh, what am I going to do? My mullions aren't showing up. And then I realized if I switched it to fine, they did. And when I exported it, it held the 3D things and showed up in the rendering. So that's like a really good trick to know, because it's something so simple, but I literally didn't know until I like messed around and actually figured out how to get these pieces to be 3D. So I love that they also have this ability, let me bring this window over here, to change and control so many different elements of the door. You can change the trim around the door. Right now there's no trim around it. You can change the lights, which are those mullions on the glass. They're referred to as lights, and you can change them. You can change the style of them. And it's just a really well-made family. I want mine to have no bars, so I'm gonna put 0. I'm gonna hit apply, and it's gonna regenerate. All right, so sometimes I mess up and I just put 0 for everything, because sometimes I'm not exactly sure. There's so many different options. But there we go. And I'm not gonna do trim. We're gonna have a more modern looking home. So now I have a good size front door. I'm going to check the size of it. It's 6'8" by 5. I'm going to make that 6 by 6'8". I'm also going to rename the family. I like to rename it the size that it is. So I'm going to do 6 by 6'8". And that's just a standard size door. So I put in a gliding door, which is actually a mistake. I wanted this to be a French door. So let me see, double. I want this to be a French door. So let me go into my load family and let me see if I can find the door I loaded in, the gliding door, instead of the regular in-swing double door. So I'm just loading this in right now. We'll have to do these steps a little bit again, but we're going to do them together very quickly. And a gliding door is just like a sliding door, literally, like it's gliding. So in case you're wondering what the difference is, and then this is a standard French front door, which is definitely what I want for a front door. Sliding door is more like a back door to a porch. So let's edit this. Let's do 0, 0, 0, 0. Change this to be 6 by 6'8". We'll rename it to be 6 by 6'8". And then we'll hit OK. And that should all update in one go. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do MA. I'm gonna match the French door here and match it here, and voila. So now I'm gonna add some side lights. So they are under actually the door category still. So this says gliding side light. I don't think honestly it matters what side light you use. I think they're all the same. The threshold might look different. But I am gonna, just for consistency's sake, load in the in-swing door side light, because I think the threshold and the bottom might be different. So this is I searched side light. We have door gliding E-series side light, and then I don't know where the in-swing one is. In-swing. Maybe I didn't load it in. Oh, I loaded in the door, which already exists, instead of the side light. Whoops. All right, so we're getting the side light loaded in. And I'm just going to see the difference next to each other. So this is the door in-swing E-series side light. And this is the Dora Anderson E-series double. And then I'm just going to do create similar, and I'm going to pop one on the other side, and I am going to do the spacebar trick, which flips the door. Got to do it twice for some reason. And then I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to change this to door gliding E-series side light, and just see what the difference is, and sort of just know what the difference is. So I think I was right in the terms of the threshold. You can see that this has like a sloping sill threshold. And you can see that the gliding side light door has a different threshold. So I'm going to use the one that matches the in-swing door family. I'm going to go into edit type. I'm going to remove the pattern number. Again, these are from Anderson Windows and Doors, the website. It's a commercial, it's a commercial or residential window and door product. But I am not sure if they're just located in the United States or if they're located in other areas. So I'm going to change the width to be 2. I'm going to change this to be 6'8". I'm going to rename it. I'm going to rename it 2 by 6'8", because this is how I like to keep track of all of my parts and pieces as I'm going through and designing doors and windows. It's good for me to just be able to label things quickly and then see how they are. So right away, these are black. I mean, wow. These are white frames. I'm going to go into edit type again. And there is a material and finishes section. There's exterior trim and exterior panel finish. So I'm going to go into the panel finish of the exterior. And I'm going to make it black. So I am just going to select this one's loaded in aluminum Betacalco black. We also have this one, aluminum iodized. So I'm just going to select this one, and I'm going to make the color a little less harsh and use that as the black. Because I love a black frame with a black metal roof, and I just think black trim and makes your house really stand out. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to change that for the side lights as well. And then when we get to the windows, we're going to change the trim for the windows in the same spot. So you guys are going to have to let me know if you end up going to the Anderson website and using these BIM models for yourself, how you like them, if you knew they existed, if you've used Anderson products in projects in the real life or just in the BIM world. It's very possible to just use their families and not actually spec their product. Like, you could just use the family and then give the overall dimensions of the windows and doors, and then the contractor or GC on the site will do what they need to do to order a window and a door that is the size you gave them. And it might not be the manufacturer, Anderson in this case, that you've specified, but they could find a cheaper window and substitute it. That's a lot of times what happens. So don't feel like just because you're using their families, you have to actually spec the product. It is a higher end product. But the architecture firm that I used to work at, we would always spec these products, and it was just what we used in the office. So I'm sure other offices are different. I'm trying to figure out, okay, so if I click on the door, the EQ doesn't show up. If I click on the dimension string, the option to EQ, which is this little button here, will center the window between these two walls that I've dimensioned to. I love this trick. Like, this is one of my highlights of using Revit. And now I'm just going to move these side lights close to each other so the frames are, in fact, up against each other. And that is what it looks like. We can see that the frame is, in fact, still white. So let me go into Edit Type and change the exterior trim finish to be that same black that I was using before, and see if that is the right location to change to. Nope, it's not. So now let me go back in. Exterior grill bar, exterior frame finish. I think maybe we're looking at the frame. Sometimes I'll really just go in and change them all to be black, because then I have to keep clicking in and out. All right, so it is the exterior frame. So now I can go into the side light and just do exterior frame finish instead of trying to guess with the other one like before. And because these two instances are the same, they'll both update. Beautiful. And this is what our first floor is looking like. I wanted to do a 3 slider here and a 4 slider here. I'm pretty sure I don't have my 3 slider saved. I have the quad, which is a 4 slider. But I think the triple slider, I have to go to the website and download. So this will be a good time for you guys to see what is on the website, what the website looks like. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the website and I'm just gonna pull that off of the screen quickly. Anderson windows and doors. I am going to go to the website. I'm gonna go to okay, so now I can bring it over. So I'm gonna go to, this is the website. I'm gonna go to 4 Pros. I'm going to go to Architectural Tools, and I'm going to scroll down. So the E-series is fine. I'm going to use, so they have the gliding doors, and you can see they have a single stationary gliding XOOX. And then gliding OXXO. I'm not sure that is what we want. So I'm just going to scroll down to the 400s and see what they have. Frenchwood gliding doors, Frenchwood in-swing doors, 3-panel door. There's all these different types. I think they recently updated narrow line gliding patio door and Perma Shield gliding patio door. I've actually never seen these names before. So yeah, it's interesting. They must have updated some of their doors. So I'm just going to go back to the E-series and I'm going to download the gliding doors. So I click on Revit. It's going to give me a zip file. So I'm just going to bring that over onto my desktop. And I'm going to see what's in there. So all that's in here is a double gliding door and the quad and the side light. So I want a triple, and I know they definitely have a triple. It might just not be in that series that I just downloaded. So now I'm going to download from the A series and see what that gives me. So we're doing a little bit of investigative work right now to see what families we need to download and which essentially product line is going to have what we need. So I just go down in order. If this was a real project, all the different series are basically built with different materials, and the higher end the material, the more the product's going to cost. So that's just a little bit about what the different series actually are, but I'm just using it for a BIM model right now. So inside this little folder that I just downloaded, we do have a door, a triple door. So I'm just going to pull that out. I'm going to extract that, and I'm going to load that into the project and see what it looks like. So I just drag it in, it upgrades it, and then it's going to immediately give me access to using it in my model. All right, so I'm going to pop that in, and we're going to go to the back, and we're going to look at what this looks like. So it's interesting. There's 2 panels to the side and 1 panel on the front. And I'm going to switch to the back. And see what this looks like. So this is interesting. I sort of expected them to be equal. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not sure that there is a way to make this equal. I'm actually sort of confused, to be honest, on how this door works, just because this is so big. I'm going to flip it in because it's backwards right now. And I'm just curious, like, which panel is sliding, because I'm questioning, like, is it the middle one? I really don't know. I'm looking through all these, and I'm not really seeing any information on being able to adjust the panel sizes. So I'm going to have to say, I think that this triple slider is a miss. I think that a triple slider I actually found once might have come from a different website that I use a lot, which is Pella Windows and Doors. They're just another rep just like this one. And they actually had a nice 3-panel door with, like, they were all equal. And I really liked them. And I might have to go back and find those. But, all right. I'm back on the website, A series. So let's try 4 series. Again, we'll see if they have a good one, because I don't like the way this looks. I don't even really understand how this works. Like, I'm thinking that these 2 side ones slide and the middle one's stationary, or maybe this one slides, but there's not enough room for it to slide over. I don't really like it. So I already looked, I guess, at the 400 one. Let me go to the 200 one, and I'm gonna download this and see. Again, quad, double, and single. There's no triple. Multi-glide doors. So they have actually pretty cool big doors. This says it's an interior stacking door, which is like a big wall that stacks. This is exterior stacking. This one is a pocket stacking door. We have contemporary clad interior stacking, pocketing, interior, and lift slide doors, but there's no 3D models for that. There's no 3D models for their folding doors or their pivot doors, which honestly is a shame. I'm gonna need Anderson to get on that and create them. Thank you. So I'm gonna bring this over here real quick and go to Pella. I actually am now curious about these multi-glide doors. I don't think I've used these ones, and now I kind of just want to see what they look like. So I'm gonna download traditional clad interior stacking, and it comes downloaded as one little thing instead of a huge zip file, which is interesting. I'm not going to do the exterior because it just is exactly what it's saying. It's either stacking on the inside or stacking on the outside, and I want it to stack on the inside, all the doors. I also want to download the pocket one because I think that's really interesting, and that's also single. The pocket one I'm sure is going to look the same panel-wise, but how it fits into the wall and how it functions will be different. So that'll be interesting. So these are all traditional clad. Again, this is just now a material thing, and this is a contemporary clad. It's just telling me what the bottom rail options are and the top rail options are. So the traditional ones, you have more thickness. A rail, let me go to the door, is this bottom thing, in case you were wondering. So I don't know how long Instagram Live was paused for. I apologize. My 10% battery has popped up, and now I'm just trying to get my phone to be plugged in. So sorry for that little mishap, Instagram. You guys are all set. You won't die again. But I was talking about bottom and top rails on doors. So this is a bottom rail and this is the top rail. And basically what this is telling me about the product is the traditional clad. You can choose pretty thick, 8 inches, 12 inches bottom rail, and then you can pick a top rail. And then the contemporary clad, it is a lot thinner. It's just 2 inches. And then there's contemporary aluminum, which is just a different material. So I'm actually going to delete these multi-glide, and I'm going to download the interior stacking contemporary clad because I like the sleeker, less thick rail look. And I'm going to download the pocket one for that. So we have the interior stack and then the pocket one, contemporary clad, pocket door, and interior stacking. So we have those doors. I'm just going to add them to my family list basically that I have because I think these are going to be pretty cool to use. And they're all the same, like I said. These ones are a little bit different because they're traditional. These are contemporary, and then these are contemporary but made out of an aluminum material. So it might look a little bit different, but it won't really make a big difference at the end in your graphics. So we're done with Andersen. I'm going to pull this over really quick, and we're going to go to Pella Windows because I know for a fact they have a really nice triple slider. I'm actually surprised that this is the triple slider from Andersen. I just want to see real quick what happens when I change the width to 6 feet because I'm going to see like how does it decide what the panel sizes are if they're not all equal. It was 9.9. So it looks like it's holding the middle panel always to be bigger. And I don't really know why, or there's no option here for like panels ratio. So I am on the Pella website. It's been a little while, but we're going to go to pros, I think. And then we're going to go to product downloads. Yes. We're going to go to, I guess, fiberglass entry door. No. We're going to go to fiberglass. We're going to go to product line. We're going to skip. We're going to go to products. And we're going to look at, they have multi-slide patio doors, bifolding patio doors, hinged patio doors, sliding patio doors, and then the rest are a bunch of windows. Let's do a multi-slide, and I'm just going to change material to all. So they have a Pella Reserve. These names are all just different product lines, and we don't really need to know the name of the product line. We just need to find something that's going to look what we want in our model. So this is the architecture series. These are looking a lot the same. This actually looks sleeker, like it has a thinner bottom and top rail like I was talking about before. You can see the bottom rail here is thicker than this one. This is a traditional, this is a contemporary, Pella Reserve Contemporary, and it comes in black, which is really nice. So I'm going to download this one. This looks as close to what I want. And again, this looks like we have a bi-part and a single part. So I'm going to download that and see it comes in a zip file again. I'm actually excited to have all these doors added to my little collection I have for families on my desktop. So the bi-parting tour, I'm looking at the little icon it's giving me, and it looks like it is 4, which is weird. I want there to be 3, so I'm not really sure why there's not 3. I guess I'll have to load them in and see what happens. I'm also going to delete the Anderson triple slider and not add it to my Revit library because I don't like the way that it looks, and I don't think I'll ever like the way that it looks. Whoopsie daisies. Let's go to Revit. Let's load in these 2 Pella doors I just got. I'm loading in the one that looks like it has 4 panels. I honestly don't remember. I used this family probably like a year ago. And it's been a while since I've had to go like search for it. So this is me searching for it. Yes, we'll save the project after. So a lot of this episode is me kind of going through doors. We haven't even gotten to the windows, but going through the doors and just discussing like the different parts of them, these 2 websites that I love to use, the BIM families, how they're working, and just sort of finding the style that you want for your project. So this is a quad slider and bi-parting, so this door slides this way, this door slides this way. We can sort of see how the door is made. These 2 overlap, so you can tell, and there's like that joint there. And then we have the threshold where the doors move. I don't hate this door. I don't hate it. I really want a stackable door, but I like having the option of this. So this is a good family. We can make it a pocket door apparently, which I'm going to check that and see what that looks like because I'm not convinced that's going to work properly. But I'm definitely going to save this to my family library because this is going to be a pretty cool door to have. Yeah, this is not showing up. Oh, I guess it is showing up like a pocket door. It's just weird because these are the doors that move, and then it's showing that there's a pocket here. So I'm not sure it's exactly correct. I'm going to uncheck that. But there's a bunch of different things you can check off. Integrated sill, surface mounted sill, weep sill with ramps. You can change the inset offset. You can change the number of panels. So we're going to change that to 3. We're going to leave the opening height and all this stuff looks like it just changes by itself. I am wondering what's going to happen to the bi-part when I change it to 3 panels. So changing it to 3 panels and let's see what happens. And of course it didn't change because how is a bi-parting door going to only have 3 panels, which is what my suspicion was. Let's see if we can do 6 panels because it's equal and they can like all slide. Let's see what that looks like. It's really thinking. It's probably not going to work, honestly. While that loads, let's see what else there is. So again, a bi-part and a single part, bi-part single, bi-part single, bi-part single, bi-part single. I don't really understand why the triple slider isn't showing up like this image. I want the BIM model. Come on. All right, so I made this 6. And as you can see, it's still biparting, so these would go this way and these would go this way. I'd obviously make it wider if I was actually going to keep this. But I don't really want a biparting door for this project. This is my dream house. And I want a slider that stacks to one side. But I'm going to delete this out. I'm also going to delete this one out because I don't want it. And I'm going to definitely be saving the door. This is a single. I don't think we're going to be able to update this to 3, but let's just see for laughs if it works. I'll be adding that to my family catalog though. I also have the multi-glide Anderson doors that we could try out next. Who knew that it was going to be so difficult to find a triple sliding door? Okay, so request a number of panels 3, and let's see if that works. I am just hoping. Like, I didn't think 3 panels was going to be so difficult to source as a BIM model. 4 pros, product downloads, all. Let's go to entry door. These are just normal entry doors. They don't even have BIM products for that. A multi-slide patio door. Bifold. Yeah, I don't want a in-swing, out-swing, so that it opens and then it folds. And I don't think I want that either. I want a sliding all the way. Again, these are 3D BIM. So this one looks like the BIM models could be good. Vent and fixed. Vent, fixed, and transom. So let's look at, there's a few. Pella Impervia, Pella Reserve Contemporary, Pella Impervia sliding door. They look pretty much the same, but I'm gonna pick out the contemporary one. Like, these two look exactly the same. I'm not really sure what's different about them, but I'm gonna download the contemporary one just because we're going with contemporary everything. And we have a 3-panel and a 4-panel. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And then I'm going to download the 4-panel just for consistency. I know we had the Anderson 4-panel, and we'll just be able to compare them, honestly. So I'm going to take the 3-panel and the 4-panel of the Pella Reserve Contemporary, and I'm not going to download the other ones because I don't really need them. But I definitely need the 3-panel, and I definitely need the 4-panel. So, again, we just downloaded the Pella Reserve Contemporary Sliding Patio Door. What's the difference between the Architect series and the Reserve series? I honestly don't know. They look the same. But I'm just going to download the Reserve one. They also have this Impervia brand, and the picture looks a little bit different. The middle piece looks a little bit different. And it has a BIM model, so I'm going to just download it and see what the difference is, because we're here. So this Impervia one looks like you can actually, let's see. These are not the icons I wanted. Thought it was going to give me the icon of the door, but it looks like we have an X0XO. The X basically is like what moves, and the O I think is what stays. I could have that backwards, but I'm pretty sure that's what it means. So the OXO would be the X moves. These two would move in the middle, and then these two would move on the ends. So I definitely don't want any that are doing that. Let me just drag this over and see. Yeah, I definitely don't want that. The reserve family seems to be the correct one that I want. So again, this is like a lot of different models and just sort of looking at what the difference between them all is. You can see that these have BIM, but not all of them do. So sort of just seeing what the difference is and what the style looks like and which one you actually want. This one looks good. Just for giggles, because we're here, again, I'm just going to download this one and see if this looks like... Oh, I already downloaded the contemporary one. So it looks like those two are actually the same. Yeah. I downloaded these Architecture Series one, and they come out as reserve. So they're the same families. They must do the same thing. It must just be like a product line material difference when you buy the actual product. So, yeah. I'm going to see if there's any other doors here. Monumental hung window. Doesn't look like... I don't even know what a monumental hung means, but... Bay windows, no 3D models of bay windows. Casement shapes. They have good shapes, Pella does. So for some reason you can't download this, but I know you can download some custom shapes. This is actually cool. A Pella Reserve traditional corner unit window. And there's a 3D BIM for it, so we're downloading that. Now we're basically window shopping together because I was not planning to do all these things, but as I'm going through, I'm like, that's a cool window. I need it in my family library, and I might put it in this house. But I feel like we're just window shopping together. Oh, there's a lot. Arch top. Reserve series multi-wide. Reserved fixed. Reserved half circle, quarter circle, transom. I'm confused. I thought that this was the corner unit window, and I don't see a corner unit. I think this is just like a general download because I don't see any type of like corner unit in this list, which I'm a little bit bummed about. Contemporary angle top window. This is a good one to have. I'm going to get that one. We are just window shopping away right now. These are all really good windows to have. So when I downloaded this, the corner was actually in this zip file. So it's interesting. These are like entire files that have more than just like the contemporary top angle window. The contemporary corner is in this one, and the traditional one isn't. So we had the Pella Reserve contemporary corner unit. I downloaded. I'm just comparing these two really quick. I'm gonna end this section and we're gonna start placing those doors just because I want the house to look a little bit different when I finish this live. So you can see that these are the contemporary ones, and then these are the reserve traditional. And this is Pella Reserve Contemporary again. I don't even know. So I think these are sometimes the same as well. But I'll figure that stuff out at a different time. But it's good to know that they have corner windows, they have these windows, and when you download the windows, they just come with like huge files of all different window types, and you might have to search around a little bit. But it's fine. We'll table that for now. So this is the Pella Architect Contemporary single, and I was able to change it to be 3, which is interesting, but I'm going to delete it out. And I'm actually going to load in the 3 from Pella, and I'm going to load in the 4 from Pella, and we have the quad from Anderson, so we can compare. But we don't have a triple from Anderson, which kind of stinks. So you can see here, it looks like this is stationary, and then this slides, which I'm not sure I love that. Let's go to the floor plan. Yeah, so if I go to a 2D look, you can see the little arrow there. This is a really harsh blue. I don't know why they do this. This is stationary and this portion slides, which I don't love the way that the function of the door works. Let's load in the floor panels. So now we have the Pella multi-slider in there, contemporary. And we have the reserve, and we have the reserve 4-panel. So the 4-panel one isn't as bad. It is biparting, so I don't really want to use that. And this isn't what I wanted either, because it's sliding to the right and one is stationary. But there is this one, which should be loaded in already. Sometimes it can just take a long time to figure out like what families you want, which is why I always save them. Because once I find a good family, I don't want to have to go search for it again. I just want to be able to save it and use it the next time I need it. So this is the multi-slider Pella Arch Contemporary single parting. So door multi-slide Pella Architect Contemporary single parting. So it looks like the wording or the name of this is a little bit confusing because it does say multi-slide door. And it does let me change how many panels we have. At the end it says single parting, so I thought that meant it was only like single 2 panels, but it actually, single parting means single parting to one side. I'm having this epiphany as we're going. Because the other one was called door multi-slide biparting. And the biparting parted in the center. So this is single parting. It makes sense now. This is the Pella Reserve with 3-panel. But again, we can see these arrows and it's functioning this way instead of sliding them all. And the graphic looks a little bit different. So when it's a slider, they overlap like that. And it's doing that there, and then this portion doesn't overlap because there are 2 panels joining. So the look and the function of the door is different. It is important to understand that. This is my dream home that I'm creating right now. So these little details and how things are sliding actually do matter to me. So we have the 3-panel, the 4-panel. We won't be using those, but we have them on deck. We have the single parting, the biparting. And then I'm going to just change this. So I'm going to match this We're going to go to the 3D view so it doesn't look as harsh on our eyeballs. We're going to edit the type because we finally decided. The requested opening width is 4 feet. We're going to make that 12. And the opening height is 8. We're going to make that, maybe we will do 8 feet for a head height. The requested panel is 3. And all this stuff looks good, so we're going to hit OK. I should have changed the material when we were in there, but I didn't. So it's fine. And I can't believe we're literally 50 minutes in and I've barely placed any windows and doors. We've just talked about the logistics of them. We went shopping for them. You guys found some pretty good examples of different ones you can get. All right. So this is a massive door. It basically fits right in the opening, which is what I wanted. And they all slide to one side, which I love. So this is my ideal door. The way that it functions, the way that it works, the way it looks. I love that it's so contemporary. There's such a small amount of mullions on the bottom and the top of those rails. I am going to leave the front door like this just because the front door is like more a traditional, but we are going to change this to be 8 feet tall. I want a taller, grander look. This is definitely a taller looking project. So we're just going to change this to be 6 by 8, 6 feet by 8 feet. I think that that's going to make sense scale wise. So we've done a lot of investigation on doors and door families and door functions, and we have done a little bit of investigation on the windows. And I loaded the windows in before I got on the live, so we don't actually have to really go shopping for windows, which is what I call it when I go look for different families on these websites. I just call it, I'm shopping around, and that's what makes it a little bit fun. So let me go into this door. I'm so happy we found it. We're going to do a finish material of this black. Takes so long to load sometimes. All right. Beautiful. So now I'm going to put in the Anderson quad door. And we're going to see what this one looks like, because I honestly don't remember. So this one also looks like it could be bi-parting. Parting in the center, 2 doors to the side. We had a pellet door that did that, and I don't really like it. We also have the option of the stationary one with the slider. I don't really like the way that one works either. I really like just slide and stack. Let us see. Does look like it's bi-parting. The R3 slider is working perfectly. It is stacking to one side. This is definitely a bi-parting one. We can see that this would slide this way and this would slide this way. So I don't actually want to use this one because I don't want a bi-parting door. So I am going to do the multi-glide Anderson Contemporary Clad Pocket Door. We haven't loaded this one in. We downloaded it from Anderson before we switched to Pella, just because I wanted to have it in my library. Now we're going to load it in and see what it looks like. So really this episode, I'm just going to title doors. It's all about doors. We didn't really even get into windows. I didn't place any windows. Placed my doors. I do want to do like a big curtain wall in the glass just to get some curtain wall in, and then add windows sort of to the sides and back, because I know I want the front wall to have a lot of glass, a lot of curtain wall, and curtain wall is just loaded into Revit. And then we can personalize it next time. So this is a huge door. This is a pocket door. So again, it looks like it is bi-parting, but it's all on a track, which this should be in the wall. The wall obviously isn't long enough for the length of this, but I think this would all go into the wall. And show screens and panels in the open position. So I think both are going to slide off into the wall. I don't have a big enough wall, but this is just for the example of it. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I don't care about it bifolding if it's going to pocket into the door, because then the whole wall's going to be open. And that's pretty cool. Again, the wall isn't long enough, so it's poking out, but it kind of just gives you a good example of how it's working. This one is the interior stacking one, which I think is pretty cool. It's not going to be a pocket, so it is going to interior stack, but I think it would be cool to see how this looks. These doors are not all staying. I just like to look at them all next to each other in the model. So that's what we're doing. We are really, you can probably hear the dogs upstairs. My mom has a lot of dogs. She loves them. All right, this is a crazy door. Why are there double-sided panels? What am I looking at? What am I looking at? So this one looks like it stacks again like I expected on the interior. I think it's maybe showing screens. I don't know why there's 2 layers of doors. But let's see what it looks like in the open position. I love that you can do this. I don't think all of them can do this, but I like that these doors specifically can do it. Okay, so I think that we might just be seeing like the screen layer, but this is how they look. They're internally stacking. If we go to the floor plans, we can see that's what it looks like. It's internally stacking. This is stacking in the wall. Obviously the wall is not thick enough. I would probably build like a chase for the wall and hide it. But these are just a little bit like different ways you can use doors. Maybe you didn't even know it's possible to like have so many different door configurations, but this is really eye-opening for you if you didn't know all the different stackings and the bifoldings and the pockets and the interior stacking. Like this one, I don't even know if we can have this one set to open. No, but this one would look like this one essentially. Like these two would bipart to the side and these 2 panels would be left just like this. So yeah, I personally think I'm going to use the Multi-Glide Contemporary Clad Pocket Door just because I want the whole wall to be open over here. I know I had a 4 slider. Oh, that color is awful. I need to change it. I know I had in plan that I want to do a 4 slider here. And I am going to still do that because this needs to be the TV wall. But this one's out because I don't like the bifolding. This one's out because I don't like the stacked panels that I can see. Why are we frozen all of a sudden? Oh, I went into the family by accident. So I'm going to delete that one. All right, and then I'm going to do CS. I'm going to put this door here because I know that's the one I want to use. I'm going to click on the family and I'm going to make it close. I'm also going to change the exterior finish to be black. Because I know I'm using this door, I'm just going in and doing all the changes that I know I want to do. The rough width is 12 and the height is 10. I'm going to make the height 8. The width being 10, 12 I mean is good. And I'm going to have to make this wall extra thick. I might just create like a chase because I don't think it actually needs to sit in the wall. It just needs to sit in a chase of the wall. So you're going to see what that means in a second, and then I'm going to do the curtain walls, and we're going to have to call it quits because I don't want these live streams to be super, super long. I also think it's interesting that I've really focused on like a specific section of this design as we've been going on every week. You can see some white, but I think it's fine. So this one is biparting, but the only reason I like it and gonna use it again is because they're gonna pocket into the wall completely and be open. So if I really wanted to, I could duplicate this model, the single parting multi-door, and then duplicate it and make it a 4-panel one. So it would be the same family, but it would be a different instance of it. So I could duplicate it, and yeah, I'm going to rename this 8 by 12 though. Or 12 is the width, 8 is the height, so 12 by 8. And this one, I don't think also has the example to be open, but this one is going to slide all to one side and stack at the end, which is fine for this area of the house. There's not room here to do a pocket door because it's just a short wall, so this one is going to slide. But I think that that's fine. We're going to have the option to completely open up the living room wall, and the foyer wall doesn't really need that. I just like the continuity of the light through it. I also don't know if I like the trim being so high. Part of me is like, yes, because it's the front door, and you're probably going to have people like kicking that more, whereas these are the back doors and they're sliders, so they look a little bit different. But those are all design choices that I probably would make further down the line. And again, this option for this model, it doesn't give us the option to see what the model looks like open. It does give us the option to make it a pocket door, but I'm not going to do that. I am going to keep it at 3 panels. We're going to make it 8 by 12. We just renamed it for convention sake. I like for my families and my models to all be named properly because obviously I do work right now alone. I'm going to save, but if I was working in a firm or with other people, it just makes it really useful for someone else to be able to click on something and know right away what the size is. One of my biggest pet peeves was people would change the dimensions of something and not upload the name of it. And then I would use it thinking, oh, it's a 3 by 6/8 door, but it's not. And it's not good to do that because you want to make sure that you're not confusing people and using the wrong things. But yes, we have this door now and this door, and they do look different. I think this color might be different. The way it sits in the wall is just different. Obviously it's a pocket door, so it's sitting deeper in the wall. But overall, I think that it's going to look mostly the same. Obviously, the glass looks different too, so that could be throwing me off a little bit. But I think I might, I'm really getting caught up in this door. Maybe I don't want this to be a triple slider. Maybe I want it to be a French door without side lights. I searched so hard and so long for this triple slider to work this way, and now I don't even think I'm going to use it, you guys. But now you know the difference, and it's fine. We're fine. We're going to go to the first floor, and we're going to look at this. Look at this stacked up, and we're just going to create a copy of this door going outside with no side lights. Just a simple pass through from the foyer. And then this whole wall will open. I think I like just having this be really simple and then this area being sort of like maybe this doesn't even become a door. I'm really toying with the idea of this not even being a door now. Just because you can come outside this way. But I feel like this should be like a wall of glass. So there's definitely a lot going on in my head right now. I'm designing, I'm speaking out loud to you guys. I did want the triple slider here. I saw it. Don't really want it. We went through all that trouble to get it. But sometimes that is just what happens during your design process. You look for something, you find it, and then you decide in the end you don't actually want to use it. But that's why we save these families. So yeah, looks like there's doubles here. And it's just because one layer is the screen layer, and I really wish I could turn that off because I don't love it in floor plan, but I think I'm just gonna have to live with it because it doesn't look like screen type, option, screen, none, no screens. Yes, I can turn them off. I love this for me. I love this for us. I hope that you go and you download some of these families because they're freaking cool. And there's so many different things you can do with them. And you can really customize your project. So we found a whole bunch of different door families tonight. We're going to save them to our libraries. We're going to understand the difference and how they all function. And it's going to be great. So I turned off the screens and we can see that it automatically gets so much cleaner. Yes, I love this. We're just going to do a enclosure for this. And that's all I'm going to do. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to select those two. I'm going to mirror it on an axis. I'm going to mirror it on the center of the door, and it's going to land perfectly. There we go. We have our pocket 4 slider, and I love it. And I love it, and it's just perfectly the right amount of wall space to fully do that. So now this wall can become fully open. And this one, I just don't think we need access like physically, but we're gonna do a curtain wall. So I'm just gonna do curtain wall, edit type. So I have no mullions set to be fixed on any particular increments. So I'm just gonna draw that and then manually design and place them, which is what I really like to do. If I change this to storefront and go into edit type, you can see that the vertical grid is set to max spacing of 5 feet and the horizontal grid is set to fixed distance of 8 feet. And I just don't like having fixed distances. If you unpin them, you can change them, but I just think it's annoying. So I work with the curtain wall setting, and they're really not. The only difference is literally in my edit type, my settings are different. So that is going to be a full wall of glass. And this front here is also going to be almost a full wall of glass. So I'm going to do a 12-foot one, and I'm going to center it in the room. So let's do 1'4", okay, 1'5", and now it's centered in the room. And then we're going to do, this one isn't going to have a full window wall. This also is not going to go all the way up to the roof. It's just going to go up to the top constraint is going to be the second floor, and we're going to do a top offset of -2, so our height is 8 feet and it matches our other ones. All right, then we're probably gonna have mullions and things going on, so it's not just a glass wall. This, on the other hand, is gonna be pretty much a glass wall. So we're gonna have this go up to the floor, a little bit down, and I'm going to do -10. No, this is wrong. I want to connect it to the second floor. And do 0. I'm going to do -2 feet. So the head height is 8 feet, and I'm going to copy it to clipboard. I'm going to paste it to the second floor. And now we have a good break in our curtain wall where that floor slab is. So basically the floor slab is just going to be hidden because we're breaking that wall material. We could do like a different material there. We can get into that later. I'm going to add the profile of this, and I'm going to select the peak or the roof slope, and I'm going to offset it a foot. I want to give it some space between all the structure that's going to be in there. And I'm going to do TR, I'm going to trim this up, I'm going to delete this top line, and we're going to delete that, and it's going to give me the shape that I want. So that looks good. Again, there's no mullions, and the walls on the inside aren't connected, but all of that is fine for now. I don't love how you can see it, so I might just attach the ones you can see, just because I am really obsessed with making it look nice. So that looks good. This is our kitchen. So we are gonna have to have like a high window here. We do have an option to do these triple windows. I didn't really want to get into windows. We're 1 minute and 11 minutes in. And I don't really want to get into windows too deeply today because we've already gone over so much. But I do know that I'm going to need to do some higher up windows here. I'm going to go to the elevation really quickly. You can see that that is where there is that. We have our line here. So I am just going to see, okay, what do I want the extents of this window to look like? Let's go into edit type. We're going to take away the grill patterns. We're going to just change the unit finish to be that black that we're using so that everything is consistent in our little Revit rendering that it's doing. I need to find it. Once I finish adding these, in like 5 minutes, we're going to be done. For today, we'll focus on windows and just refining details. Next week, I feel like we're moving pretty quickly through this series, which is pretty good. I am definitely streaming for longer, which I'm not sure how you guys feel about like watch time. If this is a good amount of time to be watching something, or if you feel like it's too long. But we're just going with the flow, having fun. Like, I love designing and doing things, and this is just fun for me. So let's do 4x8 with 8 height 4 feet and see what we get. It's regenerating. All right, great. So I want the head height to match. You can see that is like literally perfect. It's gonna clear that and we're gonna be good. So I'm probably gonna do 2 because one is gonna be over the kitchen counter and one's gonna be over like by the dining room. And if we go to floor plan, we can see how it's looking. We're gonna do create similar. We're gonna put that there. And I'm gonna put the sink in the middle of the window. That's cute. I'm going to do DI and just make sure that the distances to the center of the windows are the same. So I'm going to make this one 4-4, and I'm going to make this one, well, let's make this 4-5, and let's make this 4-5. I want them to be a little closer together. Maybe do 4-8, 4-8. I think that looks pretty good. I'm just going to recenter this sink. Whoops. And I think that works out pretty good. I don't have the entire kitchen planned out right now. I might do like a pantry under the stairs, but then I wanted a floating stair, so I'm not really sure how I feel about that. And I'm going to bring this countertop to the edge here where this window starts, just visually, just because I think that's nice to do. I actually don't know how close this island is, but I think that's the closest it can get. So we're just gonna move this to match the end of this countertop. And we're left with a 5-foot counter, which that works for me, or island rather. So that's working. This is working good. The door is working good. The silents are working good. This is the floor plan if you haven't seen it. I'm going to add a sink here because I didn't add a sink. Now I'm just jumping around adding details. This is what I do. I just sometimes just jump around and add details that I see are missing. The living room's still looking sad. We're going to need some better furniture when we get there. But this is a good looking window system. And if I go back to the north elevation, we can see that I'm just going to align the head to match the rest of the heads. I don't know why in elevation it's showing up not black, but it's okay. We're gonna change the mullions. So if we tab and select this mullion, and we unpin it, and we hit edit type, we can go into the material and we can change the material. So we're gonna change the material, aluminum, I don't remember what it's called. I can't spell. Aluminum. Can't spell. Aluminum. And we want to do this one, I think. You know, that might be the wrong one. But it's fine for now. And then everything's black. Black framed. Black framed. Which I love. And we can do a curtain grid in the center because we know we're going to have one in the center. And we can apply a mullion to it. And then I can copy this one over. I also don't know what this is. Oh, a random person model in the model. It's fine. So let me go to the south elevation, the north elevation, and let me copy this into the center of this peak. Let's see if we can move it. So I'm going to tab and select it and then just do MV and move the center to the design line that I just did. And it looks like it needs to be wider because this side is wider. So I'm going to edit the profile and I'm going to put it to the edge of these windows. You're going to remove constraints because the wall has a constraint to it because of where you've sort of created the width of it. But we're just going to edit it. And we're going to hit yes. And that is what we have right now. And we're going to need to do some windows here, but I think we're going to need to do some tall triple windows. I might even say that this becomes a triple window because the curtain wall is looking a little, well, no, the curtain wall will go to the floor and the ceiling and this won't. So I'm going to rename this one to be the width 4x8, 4x8, and we're going to duplicate it. And we're going to make it 6 tall by 8, or 6 wide by 8. I want it to be the same width as the side lights and the door combined. So let's just see what this looks like. And then once we're done with this, we're going to be done for the night, guys. If you are skipping around, it's totally fine. So height is going to be 6 feet and width is going to be 8 feet. So I'm just going to swap this because the width comes first. Probably did the other one backwards too. Sometimes I just mix up the numbers, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay. North elevation. I don't know why this one's showing up white, but it's fine. Let me measure what the width of this is. 10.5. Okay, so let's make this 10 wide. 6 tall, just because I feel like it needs to get a little bit bigger. So 10 by 6-6. Okay. And Can't believe it's already 8:42 at night. This is crazy to me. And then I'm just gonna put it like that. It is now 2 foot 3 off the ground, which is fine. Let me go to my second floor plan. I can't remember what's there. The laundry room. Ooh, a shower. So a transom window is gonna need to be here. And I can't do the triple because this wall is here. So let me do the double. I probably should have looked at the floor plan before I just decided to throw a window there. But whatever. I'm gonna take off Millions. Take out the lights. Change this to be black. Let's make this 5x4. So 5 wide by 4 tall. And let's see what this looks like. I'm gonna delete my note to myself because I don't need that anymore. I'm gonna go to the north elevation. I'm gonna see how high this sill is off the floor. So 2, 3, we're gonna need it to be higher. Probably gonna need it to be about 5 feet off the ground, honestly, just because of the location that it's in. And I want this to be on the edge, aligned. And again, I want this to align. I think I just got into the wall, so we're gonna need to make this one a little smaller. So let's do 4x4. I don't know how a square is gonna look with 2. Might look a little awkward, but I might just leave it for now because we're gonna get into windows next week. But I think this actually works pretty well. You know, there is a shower here, but it's gonna be like a wet wall, so we'll just live with it. But I think that looks pretty good. And this is a shelf, so yeah, we'll have to see. I think I'm gonna put like a little porch here that's gonna have a roof over it, so this won't feel as weird and as empty. But this is what we're working with. And something that I might look at and consider is how much width is left on either side proportionally. So this right now isn't proportional, and that's something I'm going to get into looking at next week, just because it's an important detail and I'm going to make sure I want those ratios to be the same. But that is windows and doors, mostly doors, and all of the things we went over tonight. I hope they're super helpful for you. If you are using Anderson and Pella window families, let me know if you love them. Let me know what your favorite type of sliding door is. Do you like the bifolding? Do you like the pockets? Do you like the stacked ones? Do you like the ones that have the 3 panels and 1 is stationary and 2 slide to the left or the right? Which ones are your favorite ones to use in a project? Which ones do you like? Which ones don't you like? Thank you so much for joining me. This was quite the episode. I hope you guys loved it and you continue to come on this journey with me and we see how this continues to develop. This is where we're going to leave off today. This is our 3rd episode and I can't wait to see you next week. Same time, same place. And if you're catching the replay, make sure you comment below. If you're following along, tag me. Again, this is like my dream home, so this is literally just me designing something that I hopefully one day manifesting that I'm going to live here and get it built and it's going to be beautiful. So thank you again for joining me.